Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau and Samantha Perry with you as we kick off a big weekend here in Hollandale Beach. Weather looks absolutely perfect. You can see it there, fast main track, firm turf course as well. And we've got a good solid 9-race Friday card, and we'll talk about it in the lightning round too. But I just want to quickly mention tomorrow and what a phenomenal day of racing is. In the path, now it's never too early with these newly turned 3-year-olds, but the path to the Curlin Florida Derby officially begins tomorrow with an absolutely awesome renewal of the Mucho Macho Man.
Yep, it does indeed. It's a great race, so make sure to come out and join us. We've got 11 races tomorrow, and all of them are very competitive and exciting times here.
Couldn't agree more. We've got a horse in the nightcap and the Ginger Brew Nitrogen that could have won the Breeders' Cup, Juvenile Fillies Turf, with a little racing luck and that kind of thing. So we've got a heck of a late stakes double for you tomorrow, and we hope to see you out here. But today, now, we've got a lot of excitement here as well because this Rainbow Six, now mandatory day on Sunday, we'll have plenty of content on that, I promise you. But today, on a 9-race Friday, $400,000 is an estimate on the line here, kicking off in race number 4.
I like it, and Ron will have a ticket a little bit later, but you've got the early pick 5 ticket, and I'm interested to see how you played this out.
Yeah, it was a little tricky. I've got a $30 ticket that, to be perfectly honest, I wanted to double at 60, but that's a little much. We'll get to the opener in a second. You can see the heavy favorite in race 2 is Lita, and I'm going to go down with her. In race 3, I basically got everybody that's going to be in the starting gate but the one horse, and the top pick is the 7, Take Me to Paris. Now, that's my long shot. She's 5-1 on the morning line. We'll see what we get in there. Race number 4, 31 is your order. Nando on top. I lost my top pick in there at the 4, Notorious, and then you can see in race number 5, I'm going to single the 4 because I lost my second place finish pick in there, and so Ever Dangerous at a short number for George Weaver on top on a $30 early pick 5 ticket. The pools have been so healthy. The late pick 4 has been a huge pool. The late pick 5 that you have has been big as well. Let's kick it off here in what I felt, Samantha, was not an easy opener. 5 furlongs on the Tapeta, 17.5 maiden claimers for these newly turned 3-year-olds. We have a scratch of the 3, Karif, who I didn't really think was a player, and in a race I thought was extremely difficult, we have the same first 4 in the same exact order. That's literally impossible, but you go ahead with Stable Agent.
Well, this was I think my quote-unquote long shot.
Okay, 9-2.
Yeah. And they might. I thought they were going to bottom out this Safi horse. So, and we'll get to him. But Stable Agent, look, Joe Orsino. First off, hats off to him. He's having an incredible championship meet. But this horse needed the race first time out. Joe Orsino's very patient with his horses. I think this is one that needed the racing experience. He got that under his belt. He's worked well since that race, and now we're back in a good outside post.
Yeah, he comes out of the Torches Past race, and Stable Agent was 8-1 on debut. Don't forget, Torches Past, I think, was 60 cents on the dollar. So don't think Stable Agent was dead on the board. He actually did take some money. He's a Bouchero. Look at the work on 1227. Look out today. The 6 is Valid Sense for Ruben Sierra. Seems to be progressing in the form. Blinkers helped last time, right?
Yeah, they definitely did, and that was a big race. And, of course, like we sound like broken records, but all these horses adding Lasix for the first time, we'll get a big effort out of some of these that maybe kind of seemed a bit in neutral gear.
Yeah, I agree. Irad's going to be on the 8, Mega Don on the drop for Jose Pinch, and Layoff too.
Layoff. I think that the drop works well for this horse here. He's definitely one that needs it, and again, a good post position.
I'll tell you what, it's fodder to talk about the odds with 52 minutes to post. If the 9's not favored, you don't need to use him at all.
Well, I'm not going to. I wouldn't use
I don't blame
anyways.
you either.
Yeah.
But.
Look, this horse will show the work here at Palm Meadows, and there are some fast works on on paper, but I feel confident enough playing against a horse like this. You look here. This was the December 7th work, so 3 works back. You look at this work at first and you think, oh, okay, wow, he's just waiting on the other horse, but he's in the left lead, just not striding out very far at all. This horse, Westside Tide, ends up passing him. I don't know. This, to me, he's in the right spot. And how about Mr. Money? I wasn't ever too
This
keen
is
on this
stat,
horse
yeah.
in general.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say this horse, won for 22 first
Yeah.
time out. That's not good, but we got a stat too on Savvy
Yep.
Joseph, which I'm sure he's incredible. Yeah, of course, first time starters maiden claiming on Tapeta, but
Yeah, I mean, he's probably in here to win. And
Right.
it's Safi, it's Averill Racing, and Tyler's here, all that good stuff. But, boy, you're going to take a short price on a horse that debuting
Yeah.
at the bottom. And
Not very
that's
good.
not very good. Purchase price, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Topewort, for sure.
Definitely.
Early pick 4 in race 2, 5.5 on the Tapeta. It's an $8,000 3L for the fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. A big scratch of the 5. Pasajera is out. Now, you've got the early
Yep.
pick 4 ticket today. We'll take a look at that now.
I do. It's a $27 play for me here, and we'll get into this race in just a second. Race number 3, though, I do have the 5 on top, but it's just a game. Now, I don't have any strong opinions in these early races. Race number 4, I do have the 3 on top. That's Nando. Race number 5, I do have the 9 on top. That is Ocala Dream for Safi Joseph. So a $27 play on what is, I think, a kind of a bit of a wide open early pick 4, as you kind of did with
Yeah.
your early pick 4.
Well, I'll tell you what. You don't have Lita in here, because if it's not her, then it really blows up. She's going to be a huge favorite in here. Where are you starting with?
Oh, this is my real long shot. Sorry,
Okay.
I messed up. The Sable Agent was just my top pick. This is my
Oh.
long shot. Red Hot Spark the 6th.
All right, we'll go. This is a great race to have a long shot in.
Yeah, exactly. But I keep doing that, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
on the wrong horse, but I've got the right idea. The only race I'm looking at is the non-winners of 2
Sure.
race for 8,000, where it was a big victory. She came back in an open 8 right after that, and just didn't fire her best step. Then they put her on the dirt. Didn't do too well there. Then they put her on the dirt again, and she actually ran okay. So
She did.
she's a bit good race, bad race, but I think now that we're going to be back on the Tapeta and we're with the non-winners of 3 for 8K, that's much better.
Yeah, and you're still supposed to get 6 or 8 to 1, even
Yeah.
with the scratch. And listen, everybody on a budget, everybody that doesn't want to, they just want to pick Irad, and I get it. And
Yeah.
Lita is clearly the horse to beat. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Nope, not at all. He's been on her twice, though, and he did get a victory of the non-winners of 2 level for her, and now she takes a logical drop to the 8K non-winners of 3.
Yeah, I mean, she was in a little tougher last time. I don't think overly.
about the same,
It's
right?
about the same. I agree. The 1 ace up her sleeve, very logical. The other, Steve Claceris, and you got Jorge Ruiz. Great to see him back, and
Yep.
she's got some speed, too. Have to work something out from down there.
Yeah, that could be a little bit of a problem there, but the speed is going to play.
Yep, it always does on the Tapeta,
Yep.
as long as you can hopefully get outside a little bit.
Right.
Back on the Tapeta, race number 3, we're going to go a mile and a 16th in what is a $25,000 maiden claimer, the newly turned 3-year-old fillies. You are on the 5. It's just a game. The whole gang is here, right?
Yeah.
And we've got It's Just a Game. We've got Miss Ocala, and we've also got Tavria as well. They ran 2, 3, and 4 last time.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it here. Not a whole lot going on. I think the main play with It's Just a Game is now this is her second start here after a little bit of a layoff from the Kentucky Downs race. And Miss Ocala, I think, had at 40 to 1 ran really, really well. But It's Just a Game needed the race, I think, and didn't get hit in the betting, I think, until a little bit late. Tavria, is
Go
that
Tavria.
okay? That horse kicked back on again, which
Yeah.
was interesting, and galloped out really well. So read into that what you will. She's one that I didn't put on my ticket, but I have her, in the mix.
Yeah, and she was down towards the inside the entire way. 2-2-3
Right.
paths for her all the way around the track, and that's not ideal on the Tapeta. I mentioned my long
Yeah.
shot. I actually played her last time, and she ran okay. Now, I don't know if they're going to bet Take Me to Paris. Your horse might be 1 to 10 the way they bet Brian's
Yeah.
horses around here. It's mind-boggling. Take Me to Paris ran okay last time on the turf, and I'm very confident in saying any 25 on the turf is going to be better than a 25 on the Tapeta.
Exactly. And the Tapeta race wasn't that good here, the only one showing on the page, but that was her first race since Saratoga, her first time going 2 turns. So I don't know, did she not like the Tapeta, or was she just not fit / not ready for it?
She's just not a maiden special weight
Well,
horse either.
also that as well. So we'll see here. We'll find out a lot today, but if you want to stay away from the it's just a game race, this is a good horse to look for.
Well, that's the other thing, too, not coming out of this race. What about Miss Morgan, the 6? You didn't put her anywhere. I want to mention her. Morning line favorite, at least. It's Irad. Ben Trask gets Edgard. He gets top jocks to ride. Another one coming out of a 35 on the turf.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I have no idea what to do with this filly. Yeah, they didn't better last time. The barn
better today.
They will, I'm sure, but I'm okay with going away.
Yeah, I don't disagree. The barn's looking for the first win on the year, but she actually ran okay last time.
It wasn't horrible.
No, not at all, and she probably will be. I would think she'll be favored. Well, that's 3. We've got 6 to go. Good 9-race card here on a Friday. And don't forget now, when we come back after the break, $400,000 in the estimated Rainbow Six jackpot. Ronnie's got the ticket. He'll be out a little bit later on. 2 racing days away from a mandatory Sunday. Stay tuned.
And they're off.
Win big with new DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Brian and Samantha, welcome back here on Gulfstream today. We mentioned before the break that it's mandatory Sunday. Our partner and I were talking about putting something together tomorrow, but you can put something together today. $400,000 in your estimated jackpot. Ronnie's got this ticket here. The pool's going to be huge today. The carryover is already $240,000. Let's take a look at his ticket here. The old playbook 4320 with a single in the middle, kind of.
Well, this is good. In race number 5, he's singling the 4 Ever Dangerous, who, like you said, will be a short price and probably a very logical single. Races 6 and 7, throw a dart at those 2 races, especially race number 7, with $8,000 claimer. Anybody can win that. Race number 8. Just 2 of them, the 4 Title Forces and the 5 Casey Chief. I know he loves Casey Chief. And in race 9, the finale, the 3, 5, and 6, Causing Mayhem, that might be named after him. Deadpan back second off a layoff, and Air Invasion for Christophe Clement.
He's supposed to get through race 8 with the 4 and 5. Those are 2 strong favorites in that spot. I like this ticket here. And he's got a very logical single that anybody on a budget will be singling. And I can tell you what, anybody out there with aspirations of trying to sweep this thing will be buying race 5. We'll get to it in a second. We'll start it on the Tapeta in race 4 at 5.5 furlongs. These are $35,000 maiden claimers, 4-year-olds and up. Big scratch of the 4, Notorious, who was my top pick, kind of an outsider that might have been in the right spot. But I scratch into Nando, the 3, and you've got him on top as well.
I do, but not with any very strong conviction by any means at all. The 3rd try now on the Tapeta for this horse. It's Fernando Abreu, who you were able to get home the other day when it counted.
Yeah, he's going to get going here.
You would think so, and he owns this horse too. You've got the horse in for 35. It's not a class rise. The 25 and 35 is the same around here, I think.
Yeah. And Jesus Rios hasn't been riding a lot, but anything he's gotten on, he's delivered on. And he's 21% into the teeth of the championship meet is a job well done by him. All right, Midnight Maestro's a little bit of a wild card at a big number out here on the outside.
Well, here's the good and the bad. The bad is this horse has no early speed.
Right.
And the way that Tapeta played yesterday, it's not going to cut it for him. But if they go fast enough on the front end, which maybe with these kind of lower level claimers, they might just gun it for the front, then this might work out for him. Okay.
Well, the one is adding blinkers after dueling last time,
Yeah.
so he's going. He's very logical. We all know about that. I want to talk about the 6, Eastern Extension. Now, Kathleen O'Connell just keeps on keeping on, and won again yesterday. What a meet she's off to. We haven't seen this one now since late January of last year.
Yeah.
Going to pop at one turn on the Tapeta. Irad, you want to ride? Yes, I do.
Yeah, this is crafty here, and if he can get back to those sprint races on the grass back last year at Laurel with that speed, this is a great sign for Irad to come here and maybe use that to his advantage.
Maybe this horse legged up somewhere. I don't know. I'm seeing 3 works since January 24th.
You would hope that there's more than that.
I'm seeing a short horse, at least on paper.
Right.
We'll see if we can get a look at him behind us here a little bit later on. Race number 5 kicks off the late pick 5. It's a solid one on the turf at 1 mile and a 16th here. It's a $25,000 claimer. 4-year-olds and up. Scratch the 2 Matta, who I thought was an upset candidate. The 6 Italian Symphony is out too. The rails are at 24 feet. You're going to have a huge favorite in the 4 Ever Dangerous. How'd you attack this race in the late pick 5?
Okay, so the late pick 5, I do not have the 4 on top here.
Okay.
I've got a $36 play. Race number 6, I do have the 7 on top, Frida. Race number 7, just 2 of them for me, Rocky Seas and Taking It All. Those are the 2 coming out of the same race. Race number 8, I do have the 4 on top. That's Tidal Forces. And in race number 9, I do have the 5 on top, Deadpan. I think he needed the race last time, but I think Oscar Martinez might be a little sneaky here as well. A $36 play.
He has been known to be.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to start with the 4 Ever Dangerous because we've got the replay, and he's clearly the horse to beat. He ran well last time.
Yeah.
He was also 8-5. I mean, I didn't love this effort.
I didn't either, and I hear the doubt in your tone of voice a little bit. They're always going to bet this horse, and he didn't get it done here. That's maybe okay because he had a little bit of time off, but he's been around these parts of town before and is not really he seems to just be the same kind of horse. And George Weaver, this was a reclaim a few starts back, or last year I should say, but I don't know, 2 years ago.
I'm not going to fight you on that. I get it. Maybe he's a little tighter today. He seems like he's got a tactical edge on your horse, which is a big deal. Here's Ocala Dream now with Safi. Solid turf races.
Yes, very solid turf races, and coming off of a little bit of a freshening up, which is not ideal, but I do love this post position. And Safi's, he wouldn't run a short horse.
No, he's had this horse apparently now, since at some point he's had him at Palmetto, so and the works are pretty expansive.
Yeah.
Couple gaps, I don't know, but he certainly comes in the right way. Guys, can we backtrack quickly the stat with Weaver that I want to show on Ever Dangerous that I missed? 14%. Okay, this is not huge. George is pretty... George is a 20% kind of guy, so, maybe Ever Dangerous is going to run that race again. It might be good enough. It might not. I think, clearly you're onto something with the 9, but I think the horse you really need to now look twice at is the 5, Lucky Curlin for Sandino and Amity, and
absolutely.
Here's Irad.
Yeah, exactly. And these connections of Sandino Hernandez, when he's off the claim, he's very good. It doesn't seem to matter. Even in Del Mar, off the claim, he's fantastic. So it doesn't matter where you put him, but when these connections reach in for $25,000 for a horse like this, I think it's a good sign.
Yeah, now you can play devil's advocate here too. There's been a long time on the turf since this horse did any running, and
That's true.
Mike Maker plays this claiming game as good as anybody, and he knew darn well they were claiming this horse last time for a quarter.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but this is a sharp barn. I love this barn.
Yeah.
These owners, 26% off the claim, and they're going to grab Irad. So there's some likely intent today. We'll get Lucky Curlin's best shot. We'll see if it's good enough. Race number 6 kicks off the late pick 4 today. It's a state-bred maiden special weight. These are the gals. The 3-year-old fillies will run a really good one tomorrow. Maybe it's Sunday with the Colts, the state-breds, and what looks like a loaded race. 6.5 here for the gals today. Let's take a look at my late pick 4 ticket. The late pick 4 has all of a sudden blown up. $250,000 basically each and every day. It's turned into a huge, huge pool. We love to see that. 3 deep here for me in race number 7. I'm on the inside with Rocky Seas for Eddie Owens. In race number 8, the top pick there is the 5, and that is KC Chief. Of course, Title Forces will be right there with him. And in race number 9 now, this is my best bet of the day, Deadpan for Cassie and DJ. He just looks better than that group.
Yeah.
A couple scratches aren't going to hurt his chances either. Let's get back to what could be a problematic race.
Yeah.
I'm against at least the 2 morning line favorites. I want you to talk about Frida. You're so good with the AM activity, and we've got a replay as well. Samantha, I'm seeing 2 works on the page. I'm seeing spottiness on the tab, and I'm seeing a race that we're showing on June 6th.
Yeah, it's not. These aren't good signs at all. She was scratched, I think. I don't know if it was last week or the week before last. I'll have to look. Now, she is not in a spot here first time out that is a good place to be in.
Agree.
And the 3rd place finisher, Win and You're In, came back to win stakes race.
Yep.
Stakes race. So 2 stakes races, right? Yeah. Believe.
2.
Yeah, for the fillies in the 2-year-old Florida Sires series. So I mean, that was a good race. I know that was. A good race. But you make a good point. The works in the morning. Now, there's only a couple of them. The work I saw last on the 16th, she's filled out a lot, which I like to see. She's grown up a bit since that time in between races, and then she's going to come back with Lasix on for the first time. This is a good post position, but there's some speed in this race.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And
she's got it.
Yeah, and she's out there.
Yeah.
At least she did well to draw best of all, and maybe she's just bigger, tougher, and stronger now, and that's good enough. But you watch the tote board on her now, because she really should be favored in this race. I'm going to take a stab with a firster. Sisterson Barnes been a little quiet, admittedly. Amalfi Sunset, nothing to go by. Unraced Dam, first foal. The work certainly at Palmetto zipped along. And it's maybe, to me, Samantha, it's as much her as it might not be the other 2.
Which is fair. And you can look at a race like this and, kicking off the late pick 4. We'll take a look at them, and that will give a little bit of hint. I like horses that come out of the Fasig-Tipton May sale. She worked 10 and 2 there. She worked on her left lead, and she was pretty heavy. But these roguish offspring, they seem to carry a lot of weight. We'll see one tomorrow in the Mucho Macho Man, who's one that I liked quite a bit here. But for Gerald Bennett, sorry. But anyway, I don't know. Is she going to be ready?
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
6.5's not easy.
No,
I
it's
get
not.
That.
Yeah.
I'm just really against the 6. Marty's Girl. She was a default favorite last time with a big scratch in the race. John Terranova, we always say, and it's great to see John down here this winter. We always say that John's not a guy that's ever going to win first out. I think he's 5%. He's 0 for 16 second out.
Yeah.
This horse didn't do any running last
No,
time.
not really. I will give her this. She did take a lot of dirt. So I want to give her some credit for that in her debut. She was better. My notes on her was she's better than the rest, but it's not saying much.
No, that's exactly it. She was well clear. The winner was good. We don't want to take. They better that day for Dave Brady, right?
Yep, they did.
And Irad's here. I love all of it. And they paid $75 for a Kozan. That's a lot of money. But I think the waters are a little deeper today, and I think she's vulnerable, and she's going to be favored if it's not the 7, and it remains to be seen who it will be. Race number 7, late pick 3 at $1. Don't forget that. 6 furlongs on a fast main track. These are fillies and mares 4 and up, which have never won 2. Your tag is 8. Scratch the 4, Wildcat Lunita, and the 9, Big Bouquet of Roses. And I kind of feel like we're on the now horse, because Rocky Seas ran very well last time, and we'll show it to you.
Yep.
Beating, taking it all.
Yeah, and these are the 2 that are coming back in this race. Now, taking it all, I felt like kind of got the worst of it here. West Bank all of a sudden decided that she wants to win again, which was fantastic. Yeah, you did.
I was all over.
You were all over. Okay,
yep,
so
that's
Rocky.
My gal.
Yeah, that's she's our old friend. Rocky Seas, I think, just got a little gassed here. She hadn't had a race in a few months since the Monmouth meet. A lot of these horses, they need a race over the track, and she got it now. Unfortunately, the rail is not ideal here, but I think it'll be good enough for her.
What about the 2 now? Classic Valid. What a plunge she's taking. Here's Eddie Owens. Now, Eddie won a stakes here last winter with C Streak or Stake. I always get that mixed up.
C Streak.
Okay, thank you. And he knows the score. 20% predominantly up at the Jersey Shore, but he's not coming down here just for the weather. And, he's winning races each year down here. And
Yeah,
it's
he
a pretty
does.
good step.
Yep, it really is. I think this is certainly, if she can come back to that race, she's the one to beat.
Yeah, she's a player in here. So what about Classic Ballad, though? Pete Walder back winning races.
Yeah.
Good to see. What a plunge for her.
This is a huge plunge, and she's never been at the bottom on the dirt like this ever. And you said it, the nail on the head. The Pete Walder barn, the horses are running again, which is a good sign. Now, before I wanted nothing to do with her, but I added her in 4th today after the scratch because the barn is doing good, and you have to take note of that.
No, exactly. And he's out on this horse. He gets a maiden special weight win off the claim, so none of that worries me. And Pete's going to put them where they belong, too. We talked about taking it all. Hey, she's got speed. Having speed in a race like this, that is not a bad thing.
Nope, not at all. And there's one path to victory, and that's just to try to go for it.
Try to pop them on the front end. And cutting back a half furlong is not going to hurt her.
Nope.
No doubt about it. Race number 8 is on the Tapeta. We'll go $170 here in a starter optional claimer for the 4-year-olds and up. We scratched the 3. Lord of War is out of this field, and you've got the 4 Title Forces. Wouldn't shock me at all if Title Forces is favored. I ended up going with KC Chief on at least the morning line. This is a horse now. It's been doing the turf thing 2 for 2 on the Tapeta at Gulfstream Park.
Yeah, when you reach in for IRAD here, this horse is completely unblemished on the Tapeta track here at Gulfstream Park. And the form since then, there's not been any wins on the page, but obviously this is the spot for this horse. And plus, he's been running against way tougher competition.
So much better on the turf, and Patter Pop's taking them around. It's Abreu. They put their horses where they belong.
Yep.
And, by the way, he's still not even in for a tag today.
No.
So this is pretty crafty here. Now, with that being said, KC Chief is the horse to beat, and he would be favored. Where is his form? Because at 13-10 last time against a month and a half better than he faces today, he was uncharacteristically just stopped on a dime.
I know it wasn't a good sign
No.
at all. But the good news is he still showed a little bit of speed. You'll know where you are with him an 8th into the race, because if he doesn't have any speed today, you're done.
And I'll tell you what, if an 1/8 of a mile into the race he's freewheeling on the front end, you just go to the window.
Exactly.
Here's another worry, and I know that race last time was way better. Yamato and Bapio did not run at all in the stakes the other day.
No, they didn't. But again, we see this a lot.
I get it. In and out.
Yeah, in and out.
Yep. He had ripped off 4 in a row, and he had ripped the head off Fly the W, too, by the way. So his best race is better than any of these, and that includes Title Forces. Let's wrap it up on the turf in the finale here. Race number 9, 7.5 furlongs, a $50,000 2L here for 4 and up. We scratched a 1 swinging solo. Now, if you just joined late now, the 7 Frostbitten was that late one, correct?
Yes,
okay,
it
Frostbitten is out as well. Big long shot. The rails at 24 feet, and both on the same horse. Deadpan at a very short number. Might be odds on now.
Could be. What a weird race last time, too, because this horse was working very keen and very fit for after his layoff and coming back to the races, but he needed the race. There's just no other way to cut it. And now I think he's back in a spot where he's going to fit much better.
And you know what I like here? They're not giving him away.
No.
He's still in for 50. It's
Exactly,
not like he's in for 20 or what have you. You still got to reach in and take 50 out, and that's way easier said than done. So that doesn't bother me, the drop at all. And you could almost say, you know what, off that June layoff in a race where, let's be honest, he was 21-1 that day, could have simply been a tightener for this spot all along. To the outside for you in the 9, Oscar Martinez for Delacour. This is a very solid turf barn.
Very, very solid turf barn. And the race, the sprint that he's exiting was a competitive race, and he ran even. I don't think he's just a sprinter at the end of the day here. And you look at the 2 route races at Laurel and Colonial, and they were decent enough efforts. Good post position. Jorge Ruiz rode him last time.
Yeah.
We'll have a game plan this time.
I don't want to break another record here, but we got to just let everybody know this is not a turf sprint. Don't use those stats in your racing form. This is a 2-turn turf race at Gulfstream Park. I'm trying to get that fixed. Has not happened yet. Okay, anywho, get off the soapbox here. Public Defender, we'll show you a replay for him, and comes out of that Silver Moonlight race, which all of a sudden, there she is doing her thing. This horse ran okay.
Yeah, but it's hard to see. So we see her just for a little bit, and then we see the white blinkers on the rail. And thanks, Bob, because she kind of popped back out of it again. mainly the main thing you want to see from that is she didn't throw in the towel. That was a huge margin. Silver Moonlight, that's 3 wins in a row now.
Good wins in a row.
Very aggressive and impressive wins. So I don't know what she's one that she probably needed the race as well, coming from the Jane Sibeli barn. Joe Bravo's going to ride again. You can't be that far behind in a race like this. You've got to be up within the pace a bit more, I think.
And as Samantha said about 7 or 8 times, she is running today against a bunch of colts and geldings.
Yeah.
Jane Sibeli's pretty sharp. So, you want to price underneath. You're playing a big rainbow. You want to blow it up. Public Defender is not out of the realm of possibility. All right, 9 of them for you here today. Lots to do in the lightning round. First and foremost, because it's been announced now yesterday, we kind of let the cat out of the bag. It is a mandatory Sunday, and if we get through 2 admittedly heavy days of lifting, Friday and Saturday, we're estimating $3 million in there.
Yep, and it's competitive. Well, boy, is it competitive. My ticket could be like 1,000, I think. I mean, not really, but that's exaggerating. But it's tough.
I don't think it is. It's really tough. Tomorrow is really tough as well. We're at 400 today. Tomorrow would probably be 500. So $3 million could even be on the low side if we are fortunate enough to get there. We've talked about this race. We're going to do some videos. I love this race tomorrow. The Mucho Macho Man at the 1 flat turn, 1 mile. What a loaded stakes race. A little bit of everything in there.
Yeah, there is. We'll take a look at Guns Loaded. It's victory at Churchill Downs a little over a month ago here on the rail. This horse ran big. He's the morning line favorite tomorrow, so I wanted to show that here. He's a fun prospect for trainer Jose D'Angelo, and he just kept going. Still a bit green, but ran very well. So
you got Chad Brown and John Stewart with a private purchase in there. Septarian, Cool Intentions, and Rolando. Our guys are back. Macho Music back from Keeneland Little Foray, where he run a race for Rohan Crichton. Jose Ortiz is here in town, and that's, I guess, a good segue to the Breeders' Cup returnees, because you got a maiden favored over Civetta in the Ginger Brew, and I feel pretty confident that that's going to play out, because Nitrogen is really good.
Nitrogen is really good, and also, who's the
you got Graham in there with Coretto.
Yes, Coretto finished a little bit further back, but we'll look at. This is the Del Mar race. Nitrogen is the 2 here, just flying late. I think, honestly, she should have been second. She had to do a lot. She had to do a lot, yes. That's the best way to put it there if you watch the whole race. But it's exciting to see her back tomorrow.
Couldn't agree with you more. And why be 2-5 in a maiden race when you can be, at least I think, favored in a stakes
absolutely.
race? And boy, I like her tomorrow quite a bit. And maybe you get a better price than you should, because they're going to bet Civetta, who won the wait a while here, at 90 cents on the dollar with Irad and Godolphin for Brendan Walsh. Best bet today.
It is Tidal Forces.
Tidal Forces. Okay, I like that. Yeah, I think you're onto something there. For me, where am I going in today's card? Deadpan. That's right.
Yeah.
Same. Deadpan at the end on the turf for Cassie and DJ. How about your long shot?
It is Red Hot Spark.
Okay, so you got a proper one.
Yeah.
I could have some work to do to get there. We'll see. I got a 5-1 morning line in race 3. Take Me to Paris. She might be there, but I
think she will.
She could eke up to the quote unquote long shot price of 6-1, but we'll see.
Is that the cutoff?
That is a cutoff. Some of us don't always adhere to it like others do, but that is the mythical cutoff of the long shot here on the program. That's a really good fun race. But regardless, 400 in the Rainbow, kicking off in race number 4 today. Of course, mandatory on Sunday. Mucho Macho Man and Ginger Brew on Saturday. But we'll get it all going here in about 23 minutes for the opener. Pete Aiello's upstairs with your scratches and changes.